Hi guys, this is Stuck and welcome back to our economics series. In this video we'll be looking at supply and demand. So what is demand? Well, demand is the amount that buyers are willing and able to purchase at a given price. Demand isn't just what people want, as people have infinite wants, it's what people are able and willing to spend for their want of a good. So for example, most people want a nice expensive car, yet they cannot afford this, so this doesn't count as demand. So what does a demand curve look like? So on the right hand side of the screen you can see a demand curve. It's downward sloping and you can see that the price meets the curve at the same point that the quantity demanded meets the curve. So for example, if the price is 60, it meets the curve at point A where the quantity demanded is 5. So demand curves generally have a negative gradient, which indicates the inverse relationship between quantity demanded and price. So generally, as price increases, demand decreases, and this is known as the law of demand. So why is a demand curve downward sloping? Well, one reason is known as the income effect. So for example, if someone's income is fixed, then if a fall in price occurs to a product, that person has more spending power so they can buy more of that product. Therefore, the demand will increase. And another reason is known as the substitution effect. So this is where the price of one good falls, it becomes relatively less expensive to its substitutes. Assuming that the alternative products stay at the same price, the good appears cheaper and consumers will switch from the expensive alternative to the cheaper one. So for example, if Pepsi becomes really cheap, then everyone's going to start buying Pepsi instead of Coke because it's relatively cheaper than Coke. And when the price of a good or service changes, both the substitution and income effect will take place. So what's extension and contraction of demand? Well, extension of demand is where the quantity demanded increases due to movement along the demand curve following a fall in price. And contraction of demand is where the quantity demanded decreases due to movement along the demand curve following a rise in price. So now let's have a look at supply. So what is supply and what does this curve look like? Well, on the right hand side of the screen you can see a supply curve, and this is now upward sloping. So supply is the quantity offered for sale at a given price. A supply curve slopes upwards as a rise in price acts as an incentive for producers to increase output. So this is known as the profit motive for producers. So let's have a look at extension and contraction of supply. So extension of supply occurs when the price of a good or service increases, so extension will occur along the supply curve. And contraction of supply occurs when the price of a good or service decreases, and the contraction will occur along the supply curve. So what does a supply and demand curve look like? Well, a supply and demand curve you can see on the right hand side of the screen, and it includes both the two curves on the graph. So price is determined by the market factors of both supply and demand, and where the two curves meet determines the price and the quantity sold. And where demand meets supply is also known as the equilibrium, and we'll get onto this in the next video. So that's it for this video. If you've got any questions about anything, just drop a comment down below, and thanks for watching.